Just try to scribe it. Okay, that'll work. I'm just scribing a line where the clamp is going to fall, and then I'm going to scribe a line on the bottom part of the turbo so that when I bring them back together, line these two lines up and we're good to go. So I got to pull this clamp off and then see how we take that apart. So let me get a wrench. I think it was 11. Yeah, 11 millimeter. Okay. Well, this clamp doesn't come apart like the other ones did. I don't think. No, it doesn't. So I think what we're going to do is pull this off. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Pull that off. And now this will pop out. Like that. Okay, so that's loose. So now what I want to do is, you see the seam right here? I got to separate these two halves. So make sure my marks are where I put them. Yeah, there, and there. Okay. So I want to go ahead and I got to crack on this thing and get it loose. So let me get a hammer and give it a whack. Hang on. Hitting on cast anything with a hammer, but that's what you gotta do. Alright, there it goes. It's going. Okay. There we go. Aha! Alright. I think I found my problem. Let me get you down off here and we'll take a look at it real quick. Okay, so forgive me, I'm no mechanic, so I don't remember what any of these is called, but these are the little variable vanes. And as you give throttle, these open up to allow more air in. This thing here is the actuator for, there's a solenoid that moves, and this ring is supposed to turn, and you can see it is locked onto the turbo itself. So what I need to do is get this plate off, and then I have to clean the surface and clean the plate. I might as well take these off. These just slide right off, and clean this surface here. And I saw somewhere some guys were using Never Sees on just the posts here. Okay, I just got bumped off because I had a full card. But anyways, we have to take this plate off and we have to clean up the mating surface and then go from there. So I'm going to work at this and try to get this off, and then I will get back to you in just a minute. Well, that's got to be my issue because I literally had to pry this off. It was stuck on there really good. So now this is off. I'm going to go ahead and hit this with a wire brush and get this nice and clean. And then I'm going to go ahead and get this surface clean here. This big surface and then that lip right there. And then this thing should be able to slide. Yeah, see, this is, oh, a little oil coming out. Okay. Anyways, that all moves. But I'm going to get this cleaned up and we'll get back to it. So here we are. I haven't put any lube on at all. It took a while. I had to pry this thing off. So I took it over to the wire wheel and I cleaned it up. And I'm telling you, it is perfect. That hole right there, there's no wear in it at all. So, I mean, there shouldn't be. This truck only has 70,000 miles on it, and the turbo has less because the previous owner did some stuff, and it's a different turbo. But, so that's perfect. It took a while, like I said, to pry this off, but once I got it off, along this edge in this groove here was just corroded, rusty scale, and it was worse in between this actuator here and that flange. So I had to move this actuator out of the way and really get in here with a scraper, and I had to knock the scale off real good. And then as you can see, I put this on now, slides right on, and I can turn it. I can turn it by hand. So that's good. So that's ready to go. I think I'm going to go ahead and take some anti-seize and just put it along this inside surface, and just a very, very light film along this surface here, so that we won't have any more rust to deal with, and it'll be a little bit lubricated. So that feels really good. So I'm going to set this aside, and then we're going to go ahead and tackle this. Same thing. We're just gonna pull these out individually. Just clean these off individually. The wire wheel, real fine wire wheel. Get those clean, and then when I put them back on, or before I put them back on, I'll clean this mating surface here. I'll clean that up real well, and then put a little never seize on these pins. And then that way, these should be able to slide on there nice and easy, and then we're going to go ahead and put it back together. So before I get to all this, I'm going to shut you guys off and get cleaning. So I'll be back in a minute. All right, now that I got these all clean, everything works wonderfully. I put a real fine film of anti-seize on that surface. Not so much for lubrication, but to just keep it from rusting. Because like I just said, the truck only has 70,000 miles on it. It's a 2004. So you can imagine it does a lot of sitting around. So that's probably what happened. It was in the, I think it was in the open position, and it got seized up. So I got it all working. Over on the other side, I got that all cleaned up, and I'm just trying to figure out my mark. I believe I put this turbo here, but I can't remember where this goes. I have the marking on here. I just got to look at it, and I think that this slot is in between these two. So I gotta just pick it up and move it. I think it's actually between these two here. I think. Anyways, I'm going to find out where that mark is, and then get this lined up, and then go ahead and put this back on. So once I figure that out, I'll get right back to you. Okay, what I did here, I also just put a real thin layer that anti-seize here, so this moves nicely on here. And this locator pin, I can't see it on this side, but this goes into that groove right there. All I did was just take this plate and just put a little dab of never seize just to mark it, so I know that lines up with this groove right here. Oh, of course it's upside down. Hang on one second. Let's see. Goes this way. Goes this way. So this goes here. Like this. And I put a little dab. And I seize right there. Flip this over. You got to line up all these veins with their slots that they go into, and it could be a bit of a pain. Well, this one's way out. There you go. Be a bit of a pain to get them to line up, but once you do, it should fall. There it goes, fall into place. Okay, so I can see I got that little mark that goes right there. So this is good. So now I just need to flip this end over onto here, and we should be golden. But I want to plug up these oil holes real quick because I'm dumping oil everywhere. So let me get these plugged up, and I'll get right back. All right, let's see if I can't get this together. The ring. First I need the ring here. I don't know which way it went on. Crap. Let's see. Well, I guess it doesn't matter because you put this together. Let's see. Probably like this. Yeah. I think it's gonna go like that. Let me just open this up. Kinda, there, I got it nice and wide open. And now I just gotta locate on that pin with that guy right there. Okay. Okay, where are we? Ooh. There it goes. All right. Wasn't too horrible. Yeah, that found its pin right there, and it went in their groove. The way I can check it is, let's see. Okay, pull this out. Now I need to get that out. I know a screw fits in there. Yeah, let me find a screw that fits there and then I'll get to it. So hang on. That was crazy. The very first bolt I picked up threads right in this hole perfectly. So once that's in there, I can pull this out. So, oop, yeah, there's oil in there. Okay, and now let me clean this up real quick. Okay, I can already tell it works because I was just pushing my finger in there lightly and it compressed. So pull this back out. You can see, I don't think you can see in the end. Yeah, right there. See that little the plunger right there? If this operates freely, which it does, what that does is it moves that arm back and forth. Yeah, okay, good. So that's cool. I'm just going to clean up this O-ring and reinstall this, and we should be good to go. A little bit of this oil back on the O-ring. Okay, reinsert it back in here and get it past the groove. Okay, now let's see. Where are you? Where are you? Okay, don't do what I almost just did. I almost left a rag inside there. I would have put that back on and we wouldn't have had a drain tube and that would have been bad. So make sure you pull the rag out. And yeah, just to look at this thing, I mean, there's zero play at all. There's zero end play. I can't feel anything, and it just spins nicely and everything is good. So this turbo is in really good shape. The only thing that was bad is those vanes. Oh, and that thing that I showed you when I pulled this tube out and I was able to push on that plunger. When I pushed on the plunger, I did it kind of off camera again to see what I was looking at, and I just wanted to show you real quick. If you look inside the end here, you can see a vane or two. And when I pushed on that, I can see that those were moving. So I know that everything is lined up and smooth and everything works really good now. So now I'm going to go ahead and reinstall it. And let's go along for the ride with that debacle, because it's like 85 degrees. So I'm gonna get this out there, get you guys set up, and I'll show you what it takes to put it back in. Okay, little trick I picked up just before putting this back in is to loosen up your turbo pedestal. Okay, that way when we put the turbo on, I'll be able to get it lined up with the exhaust. I'll be able to get it lined up with that tube. This one moves around, that's not a big deal. This one is pretty stationary. So I'm gonna get this all back and we'll go. So now I gotta feed this thing in. Get my body up here. I put some lube on the O-ring for the drain tube, so that's good. And now just gotta fight and fight. I'm stuck. Hang on. Sorry about that, I had a visitor. Hang on. What do you mean? All right, where was I? I'm kind of stuck on my oil drain, so I just gotta get it around it. And to do that, I kind of gotta get. Struggle is real. Yeah, 3-point turn, Dave. Just don't run into my doors. Okay. I'm trying to stay here. Okay. Thank you. Right. Drink. East. Oh, here we go. Right. Oh, crap. Here we go. Okay. Now I can see the drain tube. I can see that it is in the hole. Okay. Now you gotta make sure you line it up with the tabs on the turbo. There it goes. Fit. Uh-oh, not that one. Okay. Hang on. There it is. Okay, there it goes. Okay. Is that in? I can't see. Is that in? Not quite. Okay. Come on. What's going on here? Oh, because the back. Oh, there it goes. Okay. There's a notch. Let me see. Okay, let me show you real quick here. Okay, see? It's that little locating pin that fits right in that groove. Nice and perfect. Okay. Over here, same thing. There's a shadow, so I don't know how much you're going to be able to see. Right there. See that little pin? So it fits nicely in that slot, so that's good. I was having problems lining those up because in the back, let's see here. Let's see if I can show it. See that little notch right there? The casting on the turbo fits behind that lip, and I was bouncing around on top of it, so that's why I wasn't lined up. So now that it's lined up, I can still move the turbo around because the pedestal moves. So I will be able to line up. I'll be able to line up my exhaust. In fact, it already is really. If you look at that flange right there, that's nicely together. So I just need to put the clamp over the top of that, make sure it's seated, and then I'll tighten that down. So I'll get back to you in 1 second. Okay. One thing you want to remember to do is when you loosen these clamps, these exhaust clamps, bring that nut all the way out to the very end, because you can't when they're compressed on the exhaust and you loosen them up a little bit, you can unclip them. See, they do. Can you see me here? See how this goes in here like this? If this, you know, when they're on there, they're clamped on there pretty good, you can get these out, okay? But when you put them back on, you can't squeeze them by hand to get these back in. So you really got to back these all the way out to the very end, and then you'll be able to squeeze them and put them on. And then, so that's where I'm at now. I just got it to the end. I got it clamped on. I'm going to go ahead and start tightening this down, and just watch for it. There's a torque spec on it. I don't know what it is, so I'm just going to tighten it until I feel like it's tight enough. Feels nice and snug there on that exhaust flange. Of course, when I start the truck, I'll be able to see if there's an exhaust leak there or not. But so far, so good. This one I took apart, remember, to give myself some room. So I'm going to go ahead and loosen this all the way to the end, and then put it back on. That should be good enough. I want my clamp to face, my clamp to be on the top like this. So, very simple. Just kind of thread it underneath. Like this. Kind of put the exhaust on by hand. Fits up and on there, and then get this together, push it in all the way. Come on, there it goes. I can tighten this by hand pretty good. Okay, and just move the clamp where you want it. Make sure the exhaust is up there nice, which it is, and then I'll go ahead and tighten this down. If I can find 11mm. Okay, that seems good. And tight. I can see one clean thread, so I'm actually one thread tighter than it was. I'm happy with that. Okay, and turbo bolts. This bolt is going to be the hardest, I think. It's way back here. Excuse my head. Get in here. Ouch. Ouch. It's here somewhere. There it is. Oh, that clamp's hot. Okay. Okay, that's started. And I put those other two on. They're started. Now is the time that I'm going to go around with the 10 on a swivel, and I'm going to tighten up the turbo pedestal. So let me go get that set up, and I'll be... Oh crap, we only got a couple minutes left. I'll be right back. Okay. We got a couple minutes left on this, so let's try to do this quickly. Got the pedestal bolts tightened. They're easy to do. An extension with a swivel. Go right down in there and catch them all, no problem. Got the two front bolts. Turbo bolts done. I think you're only seeing my shoulder, but whatever. The front ones are done. I'm just tightening down the last back one here. The exhaust is done. Downpipe is done. And now get this tightened and I will move along to the front. I'll put that oil feed tube on. Okay. Okay. So that's tight. Where are we? Okay, I gotta go get the oil feed tube and put that on, so hang on. Okay, little tip, if you're having an issue getting a bolt down in there with your fingers and it keeps falling out of the socket, I just took a little piece of rag here and I just shoved it in there and it holds the bolt from falling out. I can get right down in here and put it where it needs to go. This is tight. I'll just keep that hand tight for now. So now that everything is lined up, I'll go ahead and tighten this down a little bit. Okay, pull that off. Get rid of your rag and you're good to go. Top. What were these? These were 10. Okay, that's tight. Get this wire back in here. Kind of fits in its little groove. This little locking clip clips on itself. Plug goes in. Little metal door gets trapped shut. And that's on. Alright, last thing we got to do is put my, is it a CAC tube? The one that runs here, goes down. Show you that in a quick second here. Hang on. Alright, I want to show you something real quick down here next to the radiator. You see that white line? See how it's not? Okay, let's see if you can see this. See the line, the black line right there? See how they're not lined up? And now they are. It's not lined up. Now it is. If you look at, that's all I'm doing is moving this much. That's the difference. So you need to line that line up. That line is lined up about right here. What that does is it keeps this tube away from all your electrical, you know, anything that it could vibrate on, anything that it could bounce around on. It keeps it away from it. So when you tighten up that clamp, just make sure you line these two lines up. The white line against the black line right there, and then clamp it down, and then your CAC tube will be right where you need it to go. So I'm going to tighten that up, and then I'll tighten it up there, and I'll get right back to you. tight, 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 tight. Plug back in, oil line back in, tighten down there. Battery cables, no extra bolts. That's always good when you don't have any extra bolts laying around. I'm missing one because I felt it fall. It's on the ground under the truck. I gotta go get it in a minute here. Here's the washer for it. Hook up the battery cables here. Okay, that's tightened down. Let's go ahead and fire it off. Other than the serpentine belt's a little noisy, but other than that, sounds good. I gotta take it for a test drive and see if I lost that part. Get back to you in a minute. I just wanna take a whole shot here and just see what it does. Rolling start. No barking. Cool. Alright, now just coming off the throttle, any speed, no barking. Okay, good. Looks like we got it figured out. That's where I'm going later. Remember Pete's? There it is. Let's go around the corner here. I think we're good. Oh, I only got 3 minutes of video left. So hang on 1 second. Okay, state trooper in front of me. Perfect time to do a whole shot because he's in front of me, not behind me. So let's see. Oh yeah, holy crap, this thing's got power now. All right, cool, no barking. Shifts wonderfully. And comes out of the hole like a rocket ship. No black smoke. I was stomping on it. Alright. I think we're good to go. I'm going to put it away before I get myself into trouble. So thanks for watching. That concludes this one. And, oh boy. And, thanks for watching. Rate, comment, subscribe. Have a great day.